Oh, welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling? Out of 10, it is Super Bowl Sunday. Thank you for becoming a member on YouTube. Man, I appreciate you, you savage.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
As of the time recording, Bitcoin currently sitting at $70,835. I got to be honest, guys. We're not out of the woods. Okay. I'm going to speak very frankly. I don't want to give anyone false hope. However, this candle was bought almost 100% back up. And then also we've had an official cross on the daily, and also the volume. We talked about this was the highest volume, the highest sell volume since the Japan rate cuts back in 2024. Well, we had buy volume come in, the equal highest buy volume. You can see higher than any of this all the way back since the Japan rate cut. Higher than all the volume right here, higher than all this volume, higher than the November buy volume or sell volume, which was the highest since the breakout over here in 13 months. We've had across the upside after being oversold on the daily RSI. So listen, I'm not going to confirm this as the spring that we talked about. However, this is a good step in the right direction. This is a good piece of data point to that this is the spring. We need to reclaim $80,000 and hold it to confirm it. That is the confirmation. But this buy volume is definitely a check in the right direction here. Very, very, very good. What is up? What's up, everyone? Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting the share so other people can spam that like button. No sound. No sound? Test. Do we have sound on TikTok? What in the world? Testing. Audio is fine. I am seeing it on plenty of sound. Okay. Moonwalker, I think it might just be you, brother. Okay. Okay, let's get back to it. So this is a good thing. And we put out a video. We'll kind of cover this because people are saying that this was too deep to say that because my thesis was that this was the selling climax right here. Right? And then perhaps this is our spring. Not confirmed yet. Again, not confirmed yet. And I'm not saying that we'll never go lower ever again. But I bought Bitcoin at 63K during that crash. I bought XRP at $1.30 and I bought some at $1.12. All three of those are up. This is my thesis. This has not been confirmed, right? But people were saying that this was too deep of a move to say that this is a spring. And I was adding some things to my chart for my own personal. So let's go from wick to wick here. 24% from the selling climax to the bottom of the spring. From the bottom of the selling climax to the potential spring. From wick to wick, that was the move there. Okay. So I was going through and adding some things to pay attention to for my own personal, such as LE, which is live cattle. This is the price of cows per 100 pounds. Okay. So I added this and my mind was blown that we did Wyckoff accumulation here. Plus the markup. So you had your selling climax, you had your spring, which took out the critical level over here. This is a traditional. This is the price of cows. Okay? The price of cows per 100 pounds. You can see the selling climax. You have this huge level of support here that the spring took it out very violently. In fact, from the top of this back in April or January of 2020 till the bottom of it, March of 2020, you can see there was, like, imagine you're a farmer selling beef, and then boom, you just lost 40% in 3 months on your product. That's pretty crazy. But from the selling climax to the bottom of the spring, this is as traditional as it gets. Thousands of years old. This was 21%. Okay? 21% from the selling climax to the spring. Okay? That's within 2 points of what Bitcoin just did. This is cows. And what you want to see is reclaiming the prior spring level pretty quickly, right? So you can see, like, this is on the weekly chart. But we had an immediate buyback. Same thing. Immediate buyback. Didn't quite clear it. It took about 4 weeks to clear this big giant candle. And then you started to buy it back up. Right? So this is what confirms as a spring. And I'm just showing you a traditional market of saying, like, hey, are there other examples outside of cryptocurrency to say, like, things that are even less volatile than Bitcoin to give us the same percentage from selling climax to spring? Well, here's cows, live cattle. And I added this for my own personal use. I added this chart for me to, like, pay attention to the price of beef because I plan to be raising beef. So I just wanted to get familiar with the price of beef. Same thing with the price of feeder cattle, which are the baby calves. This one wasn't quite as violent because you had a violent selling climax over here. So this was about 14% from the same price here. But from the base of the move, it was about the same. So you can see, like, where's all the support at? It's about right here. And again, 20.3%. Silver is another good example. Same thing. From the wick of the selling climax to the spring was over here. From wick to wick. Selling climax to the spring. 18.25%. So these are 1,000-year-old traditional indices, right? And then look at this. Look at this sell-off from silver. From February of 20, like, what? This was a 39% sell-off in a couple of weeks for silver. So I'm just showing you instances like, hey, are there instances of how a spring goes pretty deep lower than the selling climax? And there are. Cattle is almost perfect. And then you go into your sign of strength, and then you go into your markup. This is literally at the 1618 Fibonacci retracement right now. Cattle might go to the 2618, which is hilarious. Insane. Insanity. By the way, quietly. And then my whole thing the whole time, it has been oversimplification. Macro is that gold is going to top first. And then we're going to rotate into the Russell. Okay? I think it's undeniable at this point that gold and silver have topped. Silver went from 121 to 62. Do you understand? The same exact move. It took Bitcoin from October to make the same move that silver took in 6 days. In 6 days. So I think it is undeniable that these have topped at this point. Gold and silver have topped. Gold was down 20%. Silver had the exact same percentage move as Bitcoin in 6 days, 47% what it took Bitcoin from October to make. I think it is undeniable that this is topped. I have no interest in buying silver until we're back into the 50s. I sold my silver at $78. I sold my silver at $107. I have no interest in buying silver again until we're back in the 50s. But the point being, from silver macro to gold and silver to the Russell into crypto. In 2020, when gold topped, that was the bottom of Bitcoin. And what do we see? Quietly, the Russell is up very hard. Look at the weekly chart. We have bought back all of this, plus some. This is a strong candle coming in for the Russell. 265. We're right there within a new all-time high again. After confirmation that silver is done for. We're within 2% of an all-time high. Now, this fractal that we've been talking about has us in April as the buying climax. Okay? Again, I will say, the buying climax through the UTAD, that was the entire run. Not part of the run, the whole thing. The entirety of the entire run, that was it. Buying climax to the UTAD. I will show it real quick one time. That was the whole run. Not part of it, not some of it, not a slight correlation, the entire thing. Now, I didn't believe the fractal when I put it out there for time frame, but now it makes very much logical sense, because now we're talking about the last lunar eclipse is March 3rd. And that's the last one until 2029. We do not have another lunar eclipse until 2029. I think people are so fixated on four-year cycle, and they're going to be shaken out, losing all hope to the point of what's actually happening and been happening the entire time is happening, and it will be too late. So one more time, I will show you buying climax was February of 2021. Right here. The distribution of the Russell. Buying climax. We had a slight run, but pretty dead in the altcoins. UTAD, tippity dippity top, was the tippity dippity top of the total three. And I find it very interesting too, like relatively others held up stronger. The total three held up stronger than even Bitcoin. This is only down 17% from the buying climax to the spring, where Bitcoin is down 25%. Look at others. So I've been saying I think there's going to be a noticeable pivot by the end of March. That's the last lunar eclipse until 2029. Here's others, which is everything outside of the top 10 from the absolute wick low to the spring was 5%. 5%. From the 10-10 selling climax till this spring right here on others was a 5% drop. That is a perfect spring. So the Russell with this fractal, the buying climax would be April. I think there's going to be a noticeable difference, noticeable trend shift by the end of March. Now, for Bitcoin specifically, it's pretty common to test the levels that we just had. I'm very encouraged by this candle and how we bought back immediately bought that back up. That's a good sign. But even in FTX, when FTX went to zero, that was the spring. There was a moment where you went lower. And I just want to point this out, that it's pretty common to have an immediate bounce from the spring here. 15,600, right? November 9th, 15,600, immediate bounce up and a few weeks later you went and tested the same price. That's pretty common. So to me, like, that's on the table. Popular to contrary belief, there's a narrative that the altcoins bottomed out after Bitcoin. That is not true. That is not true. 90% of altcoins bottomed here in June, when the Luna went to zero. Like, I can show you a host of coins that this is the case for. I'm going to circle this for you, and then we'll get into your guys' questions, comments, concerns. We'll talk about some of the things that are happening here. We'll circle the Luna collapse here. June of 2022 is right here. And look, I have the total 3. Check it out. Okay, the total 3 was in accumulation. We did go lower. Not true for the total 2. Total 2 bottomed in June. Total 2 bottomed in June. Ethereum bottomed in June. Never went lower. Others went lower. ADA bottomed in June. Never went lower. XRP bottomed in June. Never went lower. Quant bottomed in June. Never went lower. Link bottomed in June. Never went lower. XRP bottomed in June. Why does this chart look wonky? Never went lower. Okay, so this is not a true statement that's going around that the altcoins bottomed after Bitcoin. That's not true. Quant bottomed in June, never went lower. That is not true. That is not factual. HBAR bottomed in June, never went lower. That is not a factual statement. There's no facts behind that. Most of the altcoins bottomed in June, and Bitcoin bottomed in November. Dogecoin bottomed in June, never went lower. Kronos bottomed in June, never went lower. Okay. So I'm seeing that going around. That's not factual. There's no data behind that. A huge portion of the coins, Bitcoin Cash bottomed in June, never went lower. BNB bottomed in June. We'll do a couple more. But yeah, that's just, again, the narratives versus like what is the actual facts of what actually happened. They rarely line up with one another. What are some other coins that were in the accumulation? I don't know about Shiba. Shiba might have bottomed. Shiba had a spring in 2023, but the FTX collapse was higher. So again, like, you see this a lot. What is factual versus what is the narrative? Uni, VeChain, bottomed in June. So there you go. XYO, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, actually. No. Not one. But nevertheless. All right. I'm going to cover a couple more things here. What in the world? Okay. 0 of 30. Sell at the top. Indicators have been hit. Wow, the fear and greed is at 7. 7. And then most of the liquidity has been grabbed. With that, we'll get into you guys' questions, comments, concerns. I think right now, the way that I'm leaning, obviously there was things that I got wrong. But I think, again, my being too early on stuff strikes again. I think that's what's happening. This has not been confirmed as a spring. Let me be very clear. This has not been confirmed as a spring, but this is looking very strong towards that. Very, very strong towards that right now. This candle got bought all the way back up with the equal amounts of volume. That's exactly what you want to see for a spring. All right, let's read some of the YouTube comments. Thanks for becoming a member. Our boy Ski. High volume signals the end of something and the beginning of something new. Exactly. And if we want to go lower, should put it lower low. Bull market returns. Do you have any new targets for alts? No. Buy Solnic, people. I bought Solnic. I've been buying Solnic on Coinbase. Picked up another 500K of Solnic. Let's go, brother. Yeah, savage.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
I'm scared. Cuddle me. Okay, bro. What is the myth that people have made up for alts? That they bottomed after Bitcoin. That's not factual. And relatively, the altcoins held up a lot better than Bitcoin did from this. Like I just showed, like we'll just show the example of others and the total 3. Okay, so from what I'm calling as the potential selling climax and the potential spring. Again, let me be clear about my words. They have not been confirmed as this. But the difference for Bitcoin is about 24%. From the wick low of the potential selling climax to the wick low of the potential spring. When we look at other coins, like let's just look at HBAR. HBAR didn't even make a new low yet. Look at the volume coming in for HBAR. Okay? Look at that. Look at the total 3. From the wick bottom here, that's a 17% difference. It held up a lot stronger than Bitcoin. From the wick here, this is a 5% difference. That's really in line with what a proper spring is here. So we need to reclaim this. Like, we're not out of the woods. We still have work to do. And I still have my eyes on November for a potential day to be cautious around is March 3rd. Have you got any pudgy penguins? I do not. He's not reading chat. Cap. Jesse says I can hear you. Evening ski. Is this the real skis? It's the real skis, the real deal. You buying alts? I bought some Bitcoin and I bought some XRP on that flash crash. My 120K is 23. Living a dream. Damn. You think Algren will recover? I do. Beard growing good, I see. Sure is. Says, dude, you're not going to watch the Super Bowl? I'm going to watch the Super Bowl. We will have a pullback for Bitcoin or ETH soon. Will we have a pullback on Bitcoin or ETH soon? Ethereum held up a lot stronger than Bitcoin. Same thing. Like, Ethereum is nowhere near a new low, right? That's another example. So Bitcoin made a new low from April, right? Bitcoin took out that low in April significantly. Ethereum has not. Ethereum, and look at this. Man, the buy volume is stronger than the sell volume. Look at that volume. Look at that volume on Ethereum. And this trend has been at play since the bottom of 2022. Look how violently Ethereum is bouncing off of this. Ethereum did not go lower than the April lows. Again, what if you measure it like that? Like, what if that was the selling climax? Let's get a good chart here. By the way, my spring chart here went deeper, but the almost exact day here. Almost the exact day. So we got to reclaim this level. But yeah, let's look at Bitcoin here. What is the percentage low from April? This is what I'm saying. Like, this is significant here. So we're 18% lower from the April lows from wick to wick. Ethereum is not lower. Ethereum is nowhere near lower. I think that that is significant. XRP is lower. XRP went parabolic though. But look at the Ethereum. No, I don't think Ethereum's putting in a new low. It's 27% higher from the April low. And look at how violently it's bouncing with volume. When you see a move without volume, it tells you something is not right. There's real volume coming in here. Look at the volume. Look at the volume we had here, followed by buy volume. Look at the crash. Crash, sell volume, buy volume right after. This trend line has been at play since 2022. Look how violently Ethereum is bouncing off of it. Can we come down and test it again? Sure. Do I think that we're going to take out the April lows? I don't. Not for Ethereum. I gave you a target. I said anything below 2,000 down to 1,700 is the absolute low that I could see us getting to. What did we get to? 1,742. 1,738. That's it. That's all we got to. 1,742. I gave you the target, brother. Could you see could that be the secondary test on others before the beat? It's possible. Some sort of formation of accumulation is happening here. Just watch Jam TikTok. Only guy who knows who's talking about. From what time frame? Last 5 years or last 5 months? From what time frame? Last 5 years or 5 months? Go watch them then. You never even got a part of the ride at all. My price on Bitcoin, my average price on Bitcoin is $22,000. My average price on XRP is 30 cents. I don't have anything against Jam. Nothing. I have against the dummies who don't understand that I had one call wrong over the last 5 years. I have against the morons who don't understand that my average price on Bitcoin is 22,000. And the advice given over the last 5 years was not to buy. My average price on Bitcoin is $22,000. My issue is not with Jam, it's with the morons who don't understand that. Ski, do you answer questions? You longing Bitcoin? I bought Bitcoin at 63K. Chopping till Q3. Bitcoin 48K by summer. I hope so. Doubt it very strongly, though. Linking $100? Eventually. Do you have pudgy penguins? I don't. Do you think Ondo will recover? We'll take a look at Ondo. Do you think we get another final flush? I think that was the final flush. Like $2.8 billion was flushed. Like, let's look at the $2.8 billion was liquidated. There is no liquidity. Let's look on the 2 week. I don't know what the 2 week looks like. Let's look on the 2 week though. Let's put this on 0.7 so we can kind of see it a little bit clearer. They grabbed it all, brother. All the liquidity is to the upside. How about the 1 month? That was a flush. That was a liquidity grab flush. All the liquidity is to the upside. Can we test what we already did? Sure. Sure. Look at that. Look at the liquidity. Yeah, there's a test there, sure. They grabbed it all. All of it was grabbed in that flush. All of it. All of it was grabbed. They grabbed all of it. Is it a good time to buy? I feel comfortable buying at these prices. I bought Bitcoin at 63K and I bought XRP at $1.30 and $1.12. 59 was the spring. It has not been confirmed, but good indications, good signs, good trend of that. It has not been confirmed, but good indications, good signs. Fix that mic. Jesus, Ski. What's wrong with the mic? By they, you mean Jews? What? Are you buying Solnic with 6 low? I bought some with 6 low. I'm also buying on Coinbase, though. There's a lot of static in the background. Okay. God damn it. Okay, is that better? It's making a sputtering noise. Everyone's calling for a 10% correction in the stock market. Is it time for longs? Are you waiting for confirmation? Brother, I'm longing Ethereum every single day. Every day I've been longing Ethereum. Profitably. Every day. I'm just one kick. I'm trying to do it 10,000 different times. On Friday, I made 6,200. 2 trades, 2 profits. There you go. So I 6,200 in profit. 2 trades, 2 wins. I'm longing every single day. Even in a downtrend, like this was a huge flush and I made money. Because I'm just looking for the same setup again and again and again. And if you want lifetime access to that, we're running a sale on that right now. Can you comment on the Buffett indicator? It's about 2:30 now. The Sonic Army, Pats or Seahawks? I think I have a little bet on Kashi or whatever it's called for the Pats, but I think I'm just going to buy low, sell high, and just sell that when they get a touchdown or something. Says the thing I've noticed in your lives, the volume in general is very low. Okay. I'll see what I can do about that. When do you think Bitcoin will fill the CME gap? Okay, so if this is a spring, then history would say 7 to 64 days. So we don't for confirmation of a spring, 7 to 64 days, we're going to reclaim this level of 91K. Is that where the CME gap's at? 93K? So So 7 days would be February 12th would be the earliest. 64 days would be April 10th. That's our range. If this is the spring, and we're going to confirm it as a spring, between February 12th and April 10th, we should reclaim that CME gap. Oh, 84K could be before then. I think there's one at 93K. That's the one I'm referring to. My wife's boyfriend told me I'd be dumb to not put my kid's college fund in some silver right now. I have zero silver. I sold 100% of my silver. That's why I had money for the dip. I have zero silver. I have no interest in buying silver until we get back into the 50s. None. I have zero interest in buying silver until we get back into the 50s. None. Zero. Zero. Zero interest in buying back into silver until we're back into the 50s. And it could even go to the 30s, to be honest with you, but I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to start buying in the 50s. Big crash incoming for precious metals. It's already came, brother. We were just at 100 and we're down 48%. It's already here. It happened. We'll probably gruel our way down now. How's the Russell doing? Did you see ISMN is up January 50? Yes. Okay, so the Russell is very quietly up and very close to a new all-time high. I've been saying there's not really a lot to report on the Russell until we make a new all-time high or until we lose this trend, because we're just on a clear uptrend. Higher highs, higher lows the whole way, right? But we are very close to putting in a new high again, and if we continue to follow this fractal, the buying climax would be around April, the beginning of April, which I said I think there's going to be a noticeable pivot in the cryptos by March, if not before then, because that's the last lunar eclipse until 2029. But this did not break trend with all of the pullbacks, with all of the craziness with silver, all of the craziness with gold, all the craziness in the stock market and crypto. The Russell has not broken its trend, and it's still following this fractal and is very close to putting in a new all-time high again. What leverage do you use on your ETH longs? 20x. All right, let's check out. Okay, let's check out Ondo, because a couple people asked me about Ondo. Okay, you could count this as a test here on market cap. So we have not went lower than this moment here. You could count this as a test. Retrace is about a 1.7x. Price discovery is about a 5x. Let's look at the price. Price went lower, obviously, because there's a decent bit of inflation. There's a lot of volume coming in here. So 1.7 to 5x. So you're looking at 72 cents is a good place to de-risk. $1.5. And then for fun, we'll do 3618, like absolute parabolic. A 12x. $3.33. Market cap looks good. Price, not so much. There's a bit of inflation on Ondo. But market cap, though, this is accumulating. We didn't even take out the spring over here. I'm not a buyer of Ondo. I don't hold any Ondo or anything like that, but I was just asked about it. In fact, this was one of the coins where I was begging people to take profit back in 2025. Sui, Ondo, Arrow, all those coins. My mistake was I thought that the legacy coins would get rotation from that. But I was very clear on Sui, Ondo, Arrow, Brett, Landwolf, XRP, all of those coins. I begged people to take profit. Look, I even have the, this is Sui. This is how I had Sui back in 2024, December. I had it as the buying climax, the upthrust, the UTAD. That is a topping structure. People were pissed when I was calling this in 2024. Thoughts on VeChain? I like VeChain. It's done worse than I thought it was. ETH can revisit 1780. It sure can. It sure can. And it can also just leave it. It can also just completely leave the support that has been support since 2022. So can it revisit 1780? Absolutely. Can it just violently bounce off of this trend that has been at play since 2022? Yes. Does it need to come back and visit 1780? No. It does not. In fact, look at this buy volume. Look at the buy volume that is coming in. That is real. That is higher than FTX. That's the highest buy volume that we've had since over here. And that volume, honestly, the dirty secret is you can't really trust the volume before 2023 because they were manipulating it. But the highest volume in multiple years just came in off Ethereum, and look at the move it's getting. So can it go back to 1780? Yes, it certainly can. Does it need to? No. Can it violently react off of the same place it's violently reacted off of for the last 5 years? Yes. Did bro lose the shaved bear bet? Yes, I did. I lost the bet and I shaved it live. I have another one for 50K. Says, good to see you, brother. Going for a beer with the wife's boyfriend before she gets home from work. See you around. ETH target, sir. 5,200, 7,200, 12K. Let me give you a fourth target, because I think that there's a decent chance that that was it for Ethereum, to be honest with you. I'm not saying like that was it for sure, but I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell it like this. I long Ethereum Monday through Friday, live, Telegram, for all of the members. For anyone who's paid for lifetime access, which we're running a sale right now, I'm looking for the same kick again and again. I'm looking for longs again and again and again. I feel a lot more comfortable longing Ethereum, even though that's all I do, because I'm just trying to master the same kick, because there's long setups and there's short setups every single day in every single asset. I'm just looking for the same setup again and again and again, and so I look for a long every day. Retrace is 3,700. I feel comfortable. Can you share your top 5 favorite alts for alt season? Probably VeChain, Flux, Solnic, Dis, Link. Oh, that was a good one. Do you believe the Bitcoin bear market in 4-year cycle will hit the bottom of October 2026? No, I do not. I don't believe that for a second. In fact, I think it's more likely that Bitcoin's at an all-time high October of 2026 than it is a new low. I think it is more likely Bitcoin is at an all-time high October of 2026 than it is a new low. I don't believe that for a second. No. Did you already talk about Ondo? I did. No, I don't buy that for a second. SU... yeah, not doing great for sure. We had a lot of buy volume over here, continuing to drift lower. I don't know what the inflation on this is, but a retrace would be 49 cents. Price discovery would be $1.50. Rose is pumping. 72K. Is Bitcoin at 72K? Are we pumping on this live right now? Yes, we are. Yeah, listen, guys, this volume is real. I'm going to pound the table. I'm not telling you the bottom is in. We will never go lower ever again. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, my theory is this is a spring. We have not confirmed the spring because we have to reclaim this, which generally the springs take 7 to 64 days to do that. So that puts us at mid-February to mid-April to reclaim that level. But this volume is a good sign in the right direction. Chill, bro, it's Sunday. I don't care about Sunday. I'm talking about the volume that came in on Friday. I don't give a damn about Sunday. I'm talking about the volume that came in on Friday that bought up this entire candle all the way back up. I don't give a damn about Sunday. I care about this volume candle that came in on Friday and bought up the whole damn candle. I don't care. I don't give a damn about Sunday pumps. I care that this volume, that's real, ladies and gentlemen. That's the highest volume since the Japan rate cut fiasco. Immediate. Like, this is a huge deal. This volume candle right here is the highest sell volume that we had since the local bottom of the Japan rate cut fiasco. Okay? What did we immediately have? This candle 100% was bought back up the very next day with real volume. That tells us this move is real. It doesn't mean that we'll never go lower ever again. It doesn't mean that. But we also were the most oversold that we have been since the 2018 bear market low on the daily chart with the cross to the upside. We will see tomorrow. I don't care about tomorrow. We'll see next year. How about that? How about 3 years from now? I don't give a damn about tomorrow. Check back 3 years from now. Just like I'm checking back when I was saying the same shit at 18K, 19K, 20K, 21K, 23K, 24K, 25K. Check back 3 years from now. I don't give a damn about tomorrow. Check back 3 years from now. My average price on Bitcoin is 22K. I don't give a damn about tomorrow. Check back 3 years from now and let me know if this was a good price right here. I got in at 63K when we dipped. I put it out. I tweeted it out. I gave you my limit orders on Bitcoin and on XRP. I bought Bitcoin at 63K when we were getting liquidated as a community. And then I also told you on, what day was this? February 2nd. I sold 40% of my XRP at $3.33 after the average cost of 30 cents. Wish I would have sold more. I have had zero interest, just like silver. I have had zero interest in buying back in silver until we get back into the 50s after I accumulated at $20 and sold at $78 and sold at $107. I have zero interest in buying back until now. My limit orders in spot. I said this on February 2nd when we were at $1.50. We're $1.30 and $1.11 and 88 cents. These got filled. This did not. I don't expect 2 and 3 to get filled outside of a capitulation flash crash, but they are ready. I bought XRP on, when was that? Thursday. I bought Bitcoin at 63K. What's XRP at? $1.44? That's up 20% since then. You can't chart that? I can. Check back 3 years and tell me if I can't chart it. check back 3 years and tell me I can't short it. I don't care about tomorrow or next week. Check back 3 years and tell me if this is a good price or not. Let's do that. I want to know 3 years from now, was 60K a good price? Was $1.30 a good price? Was $1.20 a good price? Check back 3 years from now. I appreciate you, Mike. Thoughts on Quant? Quant's solid. You think we see 50K? No, I don't. It's possible, but I don't think we see it. What's the weekly close we need for Bitcoin? Realistically, it's going to be into next week, right? I mean, we could look. Man, that's a doji candle if I seen one. Whew. Buddy, oh my. Imagine. If we close at 77. And the week is green. That's a doji candle, though. And listen, I'm not a candle pattern. Look at the volume. I'm not a candle pattern trader guy. I think we're about to close in the next 30 or 2 hours. This weekly candle here. I'm not a candle pattern guy, but that's a doji candle on the weekly. All right, guys. Whoops. No. All right. Bro, I don't even see this dude that you're talking about. Oh, here we go. All right. Up, down, sideways. We are printing profit every single day, Monday through Friday. We're live trading in the Telegram group. If you want to get lifetime access to that, we're running a sale. Hit me in the DMs for that. This is Friday. We had 2 trades, 2 wins, plus $2,762 for one trade, and the other one was plus $3,505. I trade Monday through Friday live. So it's not just me giving numbers, but I'm literally live for the group. It's not meant to be entertaining. I'll just be honest right now. Like, this is entertaining. I'm charting. I'm being fun. It's entertaining. When I go live and I'm trading, it's not entertaining. I'm doing it that way to give more efficient numbers so I can call out exactly what I'm thinking, why I'm thinking it, when I'm thinking it, so that the group can get the best entries and exits, because I'm very much scalping. But it's not meant to be entertaining. I just do it live like that so people can get the best scalps possible. But I do that Monday through Friday. And if you guys are interested in booking one-on-one coaching with me, you can do so in the top right corner on TikTok, and you can do the link. It's right here. You can see that. That is the one-on-one coaching link. That also comes with lifetime access to the Telegram group where we live trade. I put out my calls, buys, sells. There's books that have helped me, all that and more. I'm going to be starting to go live a lot more. I've been kind of taking it easy, coasting a little bit, but this is the people that I like to go live for the most. So we're going to start live streaming on the weekends a bit more, live streaming a bit longer throughout the week, putting out some more content, because this is my favorite group of people. Because if you're still here today, you are a savage in my book. But I'm going to go watch the Super Bowl. hang out with the fam. I'll be live tomorrow. I'm going to be live in the morning trading, and then we'll be live in the evening. If you guys want to book some one-on-one coaching with me, that comes with lifetime access to the Telegram. If you're interested in just getting the lifetime access to the Telegram, you can hit me in the DMs for that. But that is going to be it for this time, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I will never message you first. Those are scammers. Do not get scammed. I'm not going to message you and ask you for money. I'll say I feel comfortable buying at these levels. It doesn't mean that the bottom is in, but I think 5 years from now when we look back, it'll be a damn good price, and that is my time horizon. But all right, guys, peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless.